So now that it's spring, it's spring. Now that it's spring, I have to figure out how I'm going to use the truck bed moving forward, because I removed everything from the truck bed. The storage system just pulled it all out, pulled the carpeted insulation out. First time the truck bed's been bare in probably about 3 years, and it needed deep clean, and all the wood was coming loose. And I've since put back both of the Hest mattresses up top. So I'm gonna have to figure out if I want to go through the floor still in the summer, or if I just carry the ladder. If I use the ladder, I'll have to take it off to get Odin in and out, but then I don't need to worry about the floor, so got to figure that one out. But it looks like we've got more bubbling on the paint on the GFC on the hinge, but oh well, it is what it is at this point. But we're now 18-ish hours of sun a day, so the sun's been coming up right about 3:30 in the morning to the north, and then setting right around 11. So we're very much in spring and limited sleep, but it's good because we can get to camp at 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, still have a ton of daylight, set up a fire and everything. On the flip side though, I've got to have 3 of the thermocells running because the mosquitoes are out like crazy. So I was swatting them around a little bit earlier. Now I got 3 of them running. Brought spoons this trip, but forgot the tie down points and the rope for the awning. I was going to open up the awning and let it air out, but I forgot the stakes, and I forgot the tension bungee that then connects it on the backside so it stays open. I upgraded from trash can to this rolling husky bin for firewood. So far I like it. I had bought it, we have a random dog wandering the gravel bar we are, and I don't see a person with him. And the dog looks to have a hunting collar on, but it's just meandering. Yeah, picked this up in October. So far it works. The wheels are nice, so I'm able to load it from the woodshed, if you will, full of enough campfire for a night. This is probably probably 3 bundles worth, so enough to get a decent fire going, plus whatever driftwood's around. Now, I know it might seem that I'm smothering the fire by loading it in like that, but the birch bark on the bottom that I've stacked then through is so full of oil and sap that it in and of itself is probably one of the best fire starters you can have. So by stacking it and layering it, you can already see the fire is picking up super quick. It helps also that the wood is all kiln dried, so there's not much moisture left inside on top of the oil from the bark. So that stack will be gone in a couple minutes if I don't start layering other things on top of it. Video when we were camping down in Healy, I went through some of the camera gear, and while I said earlier that I still need to figure out what I'm doing with the actual truck bed, given that I removed everything. One of the things that I did improve on, or switch, if you will, is over the winter I was running Harbor Freight Apache Pelican style case for all my camera gear, and it wasn't quite big enough. It couldn't fit everything, and the stuff that I could fit wasn't super easy to organize around. And when Braxton from Welcome to the Outdoors was up last summer, I got to talking with him, and he was saying that he was switching over to either a normal camera bag with the flip open back or a duffel bag system. And I really like the idea of a duffel bag system. So I went looking and found this duffel bag. It's actually a range bag for the gun range from 511 Tactical. But it's super nice because it has more than enough storage for quite literally everything. So I've got my laptop, I've got the DJI Mic 2 set, I've got the Insta360 on the front pocket, I've got a bunch of cables, I've got my USB-C charging set, which, side note, if you're using anything from Canon or Sony or any of the others, I know on the R5, in the R5C and the R6 you can charge via the USB-C, but you can't use it at the same time. I think on the R5 you can. But on my R8 that I'm filming on, it doesn't have the ability to charge and run at the same time, but I can charge the batteries via USB-C. And the wall outlets, or the wall chargers, are great, except I've got 2 plugs for my inverter and it kills the battery running the inverter. So I went on Amazon and found they make a USB-C charging case that'll charge 2 of the, what are these? The LP17 batteries. It's also got a spot for 2 SD cards. And on the front, it's got a little LCD screen or whatever to tell you the actual battery percentage. This one's looks like Lano, L-L-A-N-O, but there's a couple of them on Amazon. This is sweet. I've got 2 of these because of the 6 batteries, and being able to charge my camera batteries off USB-C, a whole lot better than the other one. But back to the bag, I've got my iPad for maps, I've got my cable bag. This holds all charging cables and everything, just so it's easy. We've got drone, we've got 3 extra lenses in here, I've got Advil, I've got camera cleaning kit, I've got extra tripod mounts, and all of this fits perfectly in this bag. It's got removable internal compartments to move things around. It's got these stretch webbing on front, and like I said, it's meant for the range, so you can put your magazines and extra ammo boxes in there. This side pocket is large enough that if I needed to, I can fit some extra stuff in. And then on the front, it's got 2 extra pockets for me that I can store stuff in. What's nice is that in the Jeep, this will fit in the passenger seat. So this goes against the center console, this goes against the door, if you will. And then I have full access, and because this is resting against the back seat, I don't need to worry about anything falling out, and I still have access to the front pockets. But more importantly, this now acts as a table, because when I don't need it, these zip up, and I now have a fully flat surface that has enough texture that stuff isn't going to slide off. The issue I had with the Harbor Freight case from, or the Apache case from Harbor Freight, is it was super smooth on top, and so anything I put on, even just a box of tissues, would slide right off. This has enough grip, and it's a lot easier to carry, whether I carry it with the 2 handles there or the shoulder strap. But shout out to Braxton, because he got me thinking onto the range bag, duffel bag scenario. And for the 2 cameras and 5 lenses I carry, plus drone and laptop and iPad for trails and cable bags and everything else, I fit everything in here, and there's still room for me to put more stuff in. So this is easily the best camera equipment accessory purchase I've made in the last 6 months. I love this thing. Obviously, if you're a gun enthusiast, you can buy it for the range and vice versa. But if you're looking for a duffel bag style, this is, I believe, the 30-liter range bag from 511 Tactical. And they come in black and a couple other colors, but the FDE tan just fit with the traction boards and everything else. And with all the dirt and like silt and stuff, it's not going to show up in the bag. And then a whole bunch of MOLLE. Like I said, 2 pockets there. You got Velcro patches, and then these are 2 deep pockets. But then on this side one, you got more MOLLE in there, and then pockets. So depending on what you're trying to carry, this is perfect. And for a like travel camera bag, if you will, it's got enough padding in there that I don't need to worry about stuff getting damaged if someone decides to hit it. So it's got enough density and like foam on all the individual dividers. And as I said, it's still spring. Obviously the sun's out, most of the snow around here is melted, but that right there is perfectly facing north, and it's got some tree shade. So even as the sun comes around, that's still a hill full of snow. Everything else is completely melted because it's not got any shade, but because of the angle as the river bends around and then the sun comes, it's blocked by trees. So you still have a bunch of snow there and there. One of the things I got to figure out this summer is how I'm going to get AC power into the truck bed. I've already got cables run, so what I'll likely do is, instead of right now just running this extension cord from the inverter in the back seat, I'll likely route it and then have it permanently mounted in the truck bed. But I'm not sure if I want to run like a single outlet or a triple split, because the Stoke system runs off AC and I could run it off of a power station, but I've got 480 amp hours in the back, so that's essentially 5,000 watt hours, give or take some math. So I've got 2 of these cook setups, so I could essentially run both at the same time if I've got a splitter. But I think for now we'll just run an extension cord and then figure out how to actually power it later on, because I'll need to do a little bit of drilling and then run the extension cord and then seal up the hole. But problem for another day. We're going to do Goya rice that I actually had to bring up from Montana because I can't find it anywhere in Alaska. But it's the spring vegetables and cheddar. It's the Goya rice that my mom used to make growing up, and then just canned chili. I've got a fridge being shipped from Iceco that I'm going to put in the back seat, but until it gets here, I don't really want to run the giant 45-liter fridge because it doesn't fit in the back seat and it's just going to rattle around the truck bed. So until that fridge arrives, we're going to be doing like rice, beans, and some soup or canned stuff, or grab stuff from the grocery store, put it in like a small cooler and run it that way. This way I'm not having to keep a bunch of stuff cold during the day. A little pepper, a little salt. And if anyone needs like a spill-proof container for oil, I got this in a larger one from REI. It's OXO or OXO. I fill this up from my oil container at home, but it's got a like a screw top with a seal. No oil is spilling out of this. It's got a nice like squirt on the top. So if you need a like oil or sauce container, if you will, that's watertight and not going to leak everywhere, REI has this in a larger one in a 2-pack from OXO or OXO. Okay, so now we gotta stir that in and then get it back to a boil and boil it for a minute, which shouldn't be too hard. The good news is this then needs to simmer for 30 minutes. And I can just drop this down from 1000 watts an hour to the 200 watts an hour, or its lowest setting. And it should honestly just simmer the entire time. So we're going to let that boil for a minute, and then we'll cover and reduce and let it simmer.